What's up, goodies? Welcome back to your girl channel and to my kitchen, how to cook. And at your request, you asked me to cook a restaurant style of cooking in your kitchen, fast, easy, and simple. And the girl is here to deliver. So, if you're here watching me cooking for your first time, be sure you subscribe and turn on your post notification settings so that you will never miss another upload. And if you're my returning goodie, big up on yourself straight. I don't know what's I'm loving, alright? Let's cook.
Want to be independent, yet she can't read and write a sentence.
Okay, goodies, you ready for cook? So let's cook. Now I have my salmon here that has already been washed nice and clean with salt, lemon juice, and vinegar. Now you want to make sure that you pat dry into that salmon before you put your seasoning on it. If you see here, I still have my skin on my salmon. Now, of course, you can always remove it, but I'm going to be preparing this particular recipe with skin on. Now, this cut of salmon was a pretty big one, so I think I was able to get about 7 cuts from this. Of course, you can make it smaller or you could make it bigger. Make it whatever size that you so please. This was a very pretty cut of salmon. It was nice and fresh and it was just perfect, nice and fleshy. Now I am going to show you though how to peel off the bottom of the skin part rather. Easy if you want to take that skin off, but I am definitely going to leave it on for the recipe because I'm going to be doing this grilling, if that makes any sense, in the oven. But that's how simple it is though to remove it from the fish itself. Okay, now the season is prepared, and I lost the clip when I really prepared the seasoning in the platter here, but don't worry, I got you. I'm going to list everything that I have here down in the description bar, so don't worry, don't panic. The seasoning will be here, the paste will be here. Now after you get it all ready for your fish, you want to go ahead, get a spooner and a spatula, whatever you feel like using to get the seasoning on, but you want to make sure that you get that seasoning on the fish really well. Now I did allow it to sit for maybe, I say 15 minutes, if that much, but yeah, it wasn't too long because the fish tastes good regardless. Now, like I said, I did remove one slice of the fish, the bottom skin, so you guys can see what it looks like. You don't have to season the bottom part if you're going to leave the skin on. Just season on the sides. Do not skip that. Make sure that the season gets on all sides of the fish, just like that. You want to make sure that good is so you have really good tasting fish, right? Now, as a friendly reminder, if you have not subscribed, if you're just watching me cooking, don't just watch me cook. Make sure to say subscribe to the channel and that you are turning on your post notifications so that way you don't miss any of these uploads, alright? And for my returning goodie, I'm so happy to have you always on this gravy train. Now, this is how we are going to get our salmon with that grill, like you put it on the grill outside type of thing. You want to set it up just like this on your baking rack. I let it sit for about, like I said before, 15 minutes. Your oven needs to be at 350 degrees and it is going to take about 20 minutes to bake. But before you put it in the oven, get some melted butter or oil and just splay it on top of your fish just like that. It is going to really give the fish a nice little texture. I did go in and add some dried paprika. Not dried paprika. I did go in and add some dried parsley to it. What may I think about paprika for? But I did go in and add some dried parsley to it, and I did allow it to sit for 15 minutes. That was all it took. Now this is the butter spray that I use for the fish, and it is perfect. Now moving right along, we are going to be doing baked potatoes for this particular recipe. Can't remember, you're gonna do it like how the restaurants them do it, you know. Now I'm going to show you a little trick that I do. You probably know the trick, but this is how I do. I'm going to share it with you. Now for the baked potato, you're going to either need oil or you're going to need some butter. I did go in and sprinkle just generous amount of salt to the outer part of the potatoes. Just like that, you want to rub them in and be sure that your potatoes are washed nice and clean. Soak them really good in that water and let it rinse off really good, because you don't want a baked potato that has dirt on it. Now go in and add some oil of your choice and just massage the potatoes with the salt and oil combination, right? It's like you're trying to have that salt melt into the skin. Wash your hands and then you come back, get your paper towel, fold your potatoes in that paper towel nice and tight and place it into a container such as that one. And then, honey, you are going to put this in your microwave, boo. And these potatoes that I have here, it did take me about 14 minutes, I'd say, to be baked thoroughly. They were a pretty big sized potato, but it does take about 14 minutes to bake in the microwave, and you are all good. We are going to be stuffing these potatoes, right? But this is the first step that you need to do to get the most perfectly baked potato in your microwave every time straight. Okay, now, so after your potatoes are fully baked, now you want to test it. Squeeze it into the paper towel, and if it sinks, then you know you have perfectly baked potato. That is what it should look like. Your skin shouldn't be dried up and all of that. Your skin is going to be nice and moist, and you're going to have perfectly baked potato on the inside, through and through. Now, this is how I make a quick stuffed potato, because everything is done in the microwave. You just want to go ahead and give it a slit right in the middle and just press on both sides slightly until it pops open like that. Go in and add some mayo. Right? Sometimes I use whip if I don't want to use mayo. The two of them work just fine. So I go in and I had my mayo because I love mayo on my potatoes. Then I add some bacon bits to it, and that is totally optional, but bacon bits taste really good. If you like bacon, it tastes really good when you're doing a fast, quick, and easy baked stuffed potatoes like this one. Alright, now you want to give it some flavor. Don't add any more salt to it because you have salt on the outer part. So you just want to go ahead and add your cheese and add your favorite seasoning. You want to season it up. So I did go in and add some, I think I added all-purpose seasoning to it. Just add some all-purpose seasoning, add your cheese, and I did go in and add some more dried parsley flakes to it. Then I set it aside, and yeah, that was it. Now we're going to move on with our dessert, honey. Okay, so for this dessert, we're going to go in with some apples, and I did use 2 red apples and 1 yellow apple. Right now, you could always switch it up, but if you use green apple, it's going to give it a nice little flavor to it, just as good. Now we want to go in and we want to dice these apples up really small, really small. All right, so make sure you do that. Now, good, if you're still here watching me cooking, be sure that you have subscribed to my second channel, Life with Juliana. The link for that channel will be listed down below. Starting for the new year, I will be doing all my vegan recipes here, so just be patient. Those recipes will be coming for the new year, right? Now that's what your apples are going to look like when you're done. Now we're going to make this thing fast, easy, and simple. So of course you could make your batter from scratch, and I repeat, you could make your batter from scratch, but I'm making this fast, easy, and simple. We in and we out. So you go ahead and you pour out your 1 box of cake mix, add your 3 eggs. Just follow the direction on the box. This one called for 3 eggs, 1 1/3 cup of cooking oil, and 1 cup of cold water. And that's all this box took. And I went ahead and give it a good mix and a good stir, just like so. And that was done. Now we are going to move on and make our caramelization for our delicious cake, right? So we added 1 stick of butter and 1 cup of brown sugar. You want to allow that to melt. Now you don't have to add 1 cup of the brown sugar if you don't want to. You could also add 1/2 cup as well. Now, after I did that, I went in and added the apples to it, because remember the apple are going to soak up into the caramelized sugar and butter, so it's not going to be all that sweet. Now, flavor it up with a little bit of cinnamon powder, about a teaspoon. Just get it all up in there, and we're going to allow this to soak into the butter and sugar for about 5 minutes. That's all you need to do here. Now this is going to be baked at 350 degrees, and it does take about 40 minutes of baking time to do this particular dessert. Easy, fast, easy, and simple. Alright, so this is my baking container here, and I don't know if you should ask me what kind of size it is. I don't know. My husband bought it for me, and yes, because to use, I don't know what size it is. But I did go in and spray some of that butter spray in there just to make sure that my cake doesn't stick once I take it out, and then poured in the glazed apple inside of that thing, and that is what it is going to look like. You want to make sure that you have liquid in there. Don't get it all dried out. It needs to have liquid to get that nice little taste on top of your cake. Then you go in and you pour the batter in. Pour that in all around, and be sure that you cover all your apples. Make sure that everything is nicely covered. Go ahead and then you pop it in your oven and let that bake for 40 minutes. Once it's baked, that is what it's going to look like when you are done. You want to go ahead and set it aside and allow it to cool for at least 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, it's all done, and that is what your cake is going to look like. Nice and juicy and delicious looking on the outside, and taste delicious all up on the inside. So yes, now that is what you call fast, easy, and simple, right? You have to give this recipe a try. This something is so good, so nice. Now that is done, and my fish is done, and look at the texture. Look at how that thing is looking. Oh, so good. Remember, you bake this thing in the oven only for 20 minutes. If you go anything over 25 minutes, it's going to be overdone. That is what it looks like. All right, just make sure that you have that top nicely buttered on top, so it will have this little color. All right, and you're good to go. All right, moving right along, we're going to make our garlic butter sauce in minutes. So in a container, I added 1 stick of butter. Then I added 1 lemon. And goodie, I don't know what happened to the clip here. My phone just went, my camera just went dead here. But I did add about a tablespoon of that lemon juice to it. Then I added about another tablespoon of garlic and about a teaspoon of white vinegar, and you could always substitute that out. Alright, then after that, I'm just go in and add some parsley to it, dried parsley. You could add fresh parsley if you like. Pop it in your microwave, and when you get done, that is what you will have. Your butter sauce is all done, and your meal is all done. I don't remember if I told you, but you have to put the potatoes back in the microwave and allow it that cheese to combine, and it does take about maybe 3 minutes in the microwave your potatoes. But when you get done, honey, that is what you have. Everything comes together, and this is how they do it in the restaurants, y'all. And that glass there is a glass of watermelon with plum and olive milk. I'm gonna list that recipe so you guys see what I did. But anyway, share the recipe with friends and family. Tell them what's going on over here. Bring them, come and send them, come. I'm waiting. After you done do that, tell them what you want to see me cook next in my kitchen. And remember, as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen. Enjoy.